Welcome to Potentials. This is Lígia, and I have Evan on today. And we're going to be talking about all kinds of interesting things. We were just talking about, thanks for coming on, by the way. I appreciate it.
Oh, thanks for having me again.
Oh, yeah. Always, always. So we were just talking about very interesting things. If you were to kind of meditate, but not necessarily, doesn't have to be meditation. It could be just laying still and with your eyes closed. You can imagine certain things and they will happen, right?
That's well. That you should we recover the hand thing or
Yeah. Talk about the hand thing.
I first for meditation tried to visualize your hand, which took actually quite a while, but to see your hand and then it occurred to me make with the mudras maybe somebody could do multiple sets of hands in the astral only though. But and I was on a walk and I was like, oh, let's give it a shot. I don't really know any good mudras, but just see if there's multiple hands out there. And it's I don't have any way to confirm it, but it seems like it worked to me. And after I thought of that, we sat down and zen out for a minute, and it definitely it feels like it worked to me. But what I was it could be octopus arms if you want it to be. It could be feathers. It could be porcupine quills if you want. You never, if that's what you feel drawn to, then I could say any of those would be a natural fit. If, instead of arms, perhaps I wouldn't presume to tell anybody how to work their craft.
Yeah, well, that's interesting. Like I was asking you once about wings, if I could have wings, right? You said, yeah, you didn't see why not. Like just like think about it and um you should be able to wrap them around you, right? You can't see them, just wrap them around you
Well,
like
that
that.
was one of the things that for me, I didn't think it octopus tentacles for a test swirl. I thought of, oh, maybe you can pop the arms into a set of wings instead, and it seems like it works. But to see them, like sometimes, I think you could take the top and bend them around you would be just cool. The same as if you wanted to see if you had octopus tentacles, you could maybe wrap them around your chest or your legs or something. Like I don't know about porcupine quills; you have to shoot them off.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to find out about that.
Yeah.
Ouch.
No, I think if you're the actual porcupine, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true. Another thing is like the quills could be down and you could pet them and it wouldn't hurt you.
That's true. Like, it probably looks like fur at a distance.
Yeah. No, that's cool. I was just thinking of like I was telling you about um Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. There was a movie version of it where they just were in hyperspace and they were in a white room and there was nothing else there, just them. And they ever anything they thought of randomly would just pop up. And it would just or if they thought something about the other person, they would like turn into a giraffe or whatever, you know what I mean? Just bizarre things.
I I remember the movie. I don't remember. I remember vaguely that part, but that
Yeah, I mean, I'm totally wrong about it, but I mean, it wasn't a giraffe, but I don't, it's been so long I don't remember, but I just remember it was random weird things that kept happening because they would just think about it and it would just happen. So they were completely controlling their reality by thought, and it was an instantaneous thought, like, how in this reality, in 3D, you kind of have to manifest things and it doesn't happen right away usually. Like, if you want a new car, you don't just, the car doesn't appear right in front of you in your living room, it's not like I Dream of Genie where you just blink and everything appears. But there it was. There it was just like anything you thought of just happened right away. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
I wonder if that's where they got the show for idea for the show Quantum Leap too, like that room.
Yeah. That is interesting. Yeah, I don't know where they got the idea for that, but
No,
apparently it's been something that has been on our minds for a very long time.
that makes me wonder too if that's like whatever. Just say the the 10th reality of density, whatever you want to call it, and then there's stuff still dragging down on the third. Does that mean we average out at like a six, or is that
Huh. I don't know. That's a good question.
you you bounce down to the two and then back up? I don't know what randomly made me think of that. The
Yeah.
that white room to right here and then back again. There's got to be a middle ground.
Yeah. Yeah, and how many dimensions are there? How many densities are there? I think there's 13.
Yeah, yeah, 11 or 30, like 13. Yeah,
Yeah,
supposedly.
something like that. So that we know of.
Depend-
I mean,
Depending on whose numbers you go by.
yeah, who knows really? You can only really go by your own experience because everybody has their own, you know,
I thought Tesla said it goes on to forever. Or somebody said after a certain one it turns to just static, but it goes on to forever. But I don't remember if it was Tesla, honestly.
yeah, I don't know if it was him either, but that's interesting. I don't know how you quantify anything. How do you know? How does anyone know? How does anyone know if their reality is the same as anyone else's?
That's true. The observer group observer effect. That
Right. Yeah, like the collective consciousness, we all agree on the same thing, so that makes it real for all of us. But what about that one person that doesn't agree? What's their reality like?
they got spite reality if they're just not agreeing out of spite, or if it's just
Well, yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. I think that everybody does still have their own perception to some degree. Like I may not see the color red the same way you see the color red, you know, but we both see it pretty close to the same color. So it's not like your idea of red is actually green. So
that's true. Or well, even yeah, that's nobody sees the same color of red. You kind of like we would both agree that you're wearing a blue shirt and I'm wearing a green shirt. I had to look my light is bright.
yeah, yeah, right, exactly. But some people may say, no, that's gray. That's not green, that's gray. You know what I mean? Like their perception is totally different. Um, yeah, there's that old test that they did, like what was it, 10, 20 years ago now, with the two dresses, like they had the dresses and next to each other and you could either see it as white, blue, or gray and pink. I don't know. It was weird. It's like some half of the people saw it
Yeah,
one way, half of the people saw it.
gold and yellow and pink and blue or something. Yeah, something
Yeah,
weird.
I don't remember anymore, but it was like very divisive. Like there were two totally different groups of people. It was almost like there were two timelines existing at once at the time. One timeline believed this, the other timeline believed that, and what
Or
happened with that?
could be the chisel, like the meant to drive the wedge, like the just any like a thousand paper cuts of wedge driving, like the same for the Laurel and anything. The
Yeah,
audio.
yeah, just like I mean, trying to separate the timelines, but from what I understand, like they've merged at this point, so we're all on the same timeline now. But at one point, we were on different timelines or something. I've heard that also. I don't know if that's also true or
Does
there's
that
so many theories out there.
does that mean the Monopoly guy gets his monocle back, or when does that?
I think that monocle is long gone. That ship has sailed. I don't
I
think we ever get to have it back unless somebody decides to buy that company and draw and then make sure they print it all out that way. You know what we should do?
you
We
don't
should
know.
revive that timeline. Let's get all of the inconsistencies together and then we'll all just get 3D printers and make all of those things come back to life.
I
Well, the
100% remember. I mean, has my Russ is hard. My friend has
blue.
passed. I
Yeah,
remember when the original Mandela, like
yeah,
season 1 or 4, when they're like, "Oh, he's out of prison." Like, well, I'm pretty sure he died in prison a few years ago. I'm like, no, no, he's out now. Like, no, I
yeah,
remember the Public Enemy special and some other
yeah,
artists did stuff. It was a big to
yeah.
do before he died.
It was a
No,
big deal. It was a big deal. Yeah. And then also just the the little things like you call yourself Fruit of the Loon on is it Instagram? I don't remember, but yeah, Fruit of the Loom used to have a cornucopia, right? We all remember that. So what the fuck? It's not there now. So can we put it back now? Like now that the timelines have merged, let's just correct everything. Like, the Berenstein Bears and whatever else there is, all the little stupid things. Can we have them back now?
it's Fruit of the Loon, like the loon, like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
bird.
Fruit of the Loon. Right, right. But I thought it was like a play on words with the Fruit of the Loom,
Is
right?
that what it is?
Yeah.
Well, no, I was in Boy Scouts and I was on a canoe with my buddy and I saw a loon and I was like, "Oh boy, a loon!" And it did a call and I did the call back and it like swam right over us. Like
Oh, that's so cool.
he called me Evan of the Loon ever since then. So I was like, "Oh, lean into it. I don't care. Like
Yeah,
he's my loony buddy. Any nature,
that's
I'm down with
adorable.
it. I want to hang with him as much as possible."
And speaking of animals, how is your dog? Your
Oh,
little, your big
he's
dog.
he's doing
I,
all right. He came in for a guest appearance a minute ago. I don't know if you spotted.
oh, no, I didn't see him. Where
Yeah,
is
he's a
he?
big guy. He's down the hallway loafing right now. We go about an hour and a half to go for another kick in the time.
Is his name Alpha? Is it Alpha?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's Alpha. He answers to Fluffy also, but yeah,
that's so cute. Oh,
he's a big fluffy guy. He is. He's
yeah,
about 140 pounds, but he's
beautiful. He's got those beautiful eyes. Yeah, he's gorgeous. I
delicate.
found this little, I met this little dog the other day, a little tiny Yorkie. I think it was a Yorkie. I'm not very good with breeds, knowing what animals are, but he was this little thing and he had a diaper on and he was lost. Actually, it was my daughter's friend found him in somebody's yard, just all shaking and scared. And he was just this little tiny thing. And so she brought him over to me and I held him and I was just petting him, kisses and loves, and calming him down, because he was shaking, he was so scared. So I was just holding him, calming him down, and then we couldn't figure out whose dog he was, like who could he be? And so we called the sheriff's department because nobody else was open. It was like a Sunday. Yeah, it was Saturday. No, it was a Saturday evening. It was at sunset because it's for sunset. We always go to watch the sun go down over the water, right? So we were all
Um,
together for sunset, watching the sun go down, and then this little doggy. We found this little doggy, right? It was like angels were protecting him or something. I really feel like there were definitely angels around him because we found him out of like how would you possibly find this tiny dog in some big huge yard, somebody's got trees and a big house, like how would you find him? So Crystal, my daughter's friend, found him, brings him over to me. We call the sheriff's department, say we found a lost dog, we don't know what to do, we don't know who he belongs to, and they were like, okay, we'll be there in a little while or whatever. So meanwhile, we're trying to figure out if we can find the owner because I really don't want him to go to dog jail because he didn't do anything wrong. So, so we find this lady who's walking her dog. We say, hey, you're in the neighborhood. Do you know anybody who might have this dog? She goes, well, the lady across the street has a little dog. Maybe it's his. So right across the street is this big, beautiful house, and it has this archway, like this ivy archway. It's just absolutely beautiful. And there's just really good energy about that house. You just know that they're good people. So I walk to the door. This wonderful lady opens the door, so sweet and friendly. It's a big smile on her face. She goes, "Oh, what a beautiful dog!" And she's like, "No, this is not my dog, but I can take care of him until the sheriff department comes. I'll take care of him and play with my other little dog because she had a little dog named Chase. And Chase was actually living up to his name and chasing the other dog around. So long story short, so it was adorable. And so I left her with the dog. We exchanged numbers, and about an hour later, I get a call from the sheriff's department, and they're like, "We're at the house, but apparently she found the owner, so we don't have to take the dog." And I was like, "Yes!" And then 2 minutes later, the lady, her name is Barbara, she calls me and she's like, "Linda, are you ready to hear the most beautiful story?" She's the most serendipitous story, and I'm like, "Okay, sure." So she's like, I took the little dog out to go to the bathroom in the front yard, and it's dark, the sun had set, it was dark, and I see this flashlight coming around the bend, and very slowly around the bend, and I can see that it's like an elderly woman, and I say, "Are you missing a dog, a little tiny dog?" And she's like, "Yes," and she's like on the verge of tears, and then she says, "Is he wearing a diaper?" And she goes, "Yes." And she just starts crying, and she's so happy to see her dog, and she's reunited with her dog. She'd been looking for him all day. She was exhausted. She's like probably 80 years old. She's moving, and the dog is like her child, And apparently the movers had left the door open, and the dog got out. Little puppy got out. So that's how that happened, and they'd been missing all day. So she was so excited to get her dog back, and the late Barbara took her back home, drove her home, and it was like 5 or 6 blocks away, but she was so tired, that poor lady. So she got her doggy back, and the doggy's name is Gus Gus. So
Oh,
yay for Gus Gus.
yeah. Glad Gus got back home.
Gus Gus made it home. Thanks to a bunch of angels.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, those angels were watching over him for sure. Yeah. And how that orchestrated, like the timing of her going outside to take the dog to go to the bathroom, and the lady walking around the bend with I mean, how can that happen, right? The odds of that happening at that particular time, it's just crazy. It's
Right,
wild.
right when the owner was about to run out of gas, probably too. Like, oh,
Yeah.
mic got a little funky. I don't know if you moved your phone or something, but it got a
No,
little something. It
not,
got a little It might be on my end, but it got a little washy there for a second. It sounds better now, a little better now, but
oh,
it was
no,
picking it up good, and then I don't know if maybe it's just my end.
never know. They're glitchy. I've had
Yeah,
some glitches.
especially when you test where the edges are of how kosher it is to talk about certain things.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Which I
Yeah,
think we're still kosher. I don't know. We haven't been anywhere near any of the edges that I know of.
no, we can though if you want. I
Oh,
don't want
okay. Good.
going to
Oh,
the
maybe
fringe, like the fringe stuff. We've talked about the Mandela effect. We've discussed.
that's
Um,
true. Or
we've
Monroe too. That might be Flag City, but I don't think Danger Town. It's pretty
we
open.
could we could discuss celestial beings if you'd like. We
Oh,
talked about angels, but what about our celestial group? Like the fact that uh, we're getting in touch with celestial beings, and if you've had any kind of experiences during that period of time when you're listening to the tones, the
I'm
celestial.
I am cool with uh sharing everything that is up with that, but I'm not 100% on the other end if that's like open territory or not. But yeah, there's been like what can I say? This doesn't uh put anybody on blast or anything. Like the other night for the full moon, I was out enjoying some nature, and uh definitely was like no star or no clouds in the sky, so I could see stars, and there was some some interesting anomalies on ground level, and then the stars seem to be doing some fun stuff also. But absolutely, I could say for certain that was it caught me off guard. Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
what it was. I say that to can't remember. Somebody said something a couple times in the group, maybe. And again, I don't want to put them on blast because I don't remember who it was. I don't want to seem like I'm talking shit or whatever, but they said whatever about like, oh, are you dealing with some energy? And I typically don't throw a name on it. It's until it,
Yeah.
when it was like which whatever, if that's your thing, I'm not judging. But like, oh, it's definitely whatever and whatever. Like it could be this energy. Everybody identifies it as this. So could be, and if it wants to say that to me, or if it conveys that message in some way, like I'm down with receiving it. But it seems like a limit usually.
Seems like what?
It seems like kind of a limit to me. Like, oh, like you like just use your name for an example. Like, oh, Linda, like all everything that you can do is surmised in the whole name of Linda's. But if I only call you Lee, like Li, then everything that NDA contains for what you can do, like you're only going up to Li. So like you're
Right.
like, well, that's fine. You're still Lee. Like technically, that's
Yeah.
an active name, but by
But
not
you're limiting it.
acknowledging the rest of it, yeah, I think you're
Yeah.
cutting off.
Right. Right. Right.
My
Well, that's sort of
again.
what I was feeling like we have more chakras than we actually think we have. Like, I kind of feel like we have 9 chakras. I was just telling this to someone today, instead of 7, you know. And I feel like we just haven't discovered them yet. They're kind
Or
of like
maybe
lost planets, kind of.
or it's the one above and like the one that floats above you and below you, maybe.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
I can't remember where I saw recently too. I can't remember where. There's extra tones, like you know the tones for your phone.
Yeah.
There's actually like I don't remember what it is, Z X Y T or whatever. Some letters that they have that are bonus tones that every single phone has. Like I'm like,
Huh.
what? Yeah, like they've had that since the beginning, I guess. But
Yeah.
what do you use them for? I don't know why they're there, but I guess it's probably the
Yeah.
same thing as for like you're saying bonus chakras.
The bonus chakras and
Probably
like
there. You know,
the colors that we can't see but that exist, like that we don't know. That like sometimes we get to see them. I feel like sometimes they bleed through. And I think that it's just a it's just a thought, but I feel like as we start to ascend, as we start to raise our vibrations higher, we'll start to see other colors that we haven't seen before. More
there's
colors.
there's a couple astral projection type things or remote viewing. I don't know whichever you want to classify it as, or pop wherever. And there was a pinkish purple, like I don't know, it moves kind of like magma-ish color, but it's definitely not one that I've ever really seen before. That I only see via the astral, and then there's kind of a bluish one too that I've seen. But other than that, since being aware of like, oh crap, there's probably other colors, like those are feeling it too.
That's really cool. I saw a green one time that I've never seen before. It was just recently, actually. I saw a shade of green that I've never seen before. So
Was it
I was like, oh,
walking
that's
around or?
different. Yeah, yeah,
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah. It was just weird. I'm like, okay. I don't know where that came from, but that's pretty cool. I
Maybe
like it.
that's like the one you get the one shade, like you get there's like the astral sunglasses that you put on, but it's only one shade at a time. You get like, all right, you see
Yeah,
extra
yeah.
green, like you're like, hey, wait a minute, what's up with that green? Yeah, all right.
I want to get some of those astral sunglasses.
Oh yeah, the
Who?
Dyson. Oh, is that flag territory? I don't know what flag is, but
Yeah, those were awesome. Like I would love to try those on.
oh, absolutely. Well, there's a few versions. I've heard that they stain the glass with it, and then there's one where you can get, pardon me,
Is it
where you can
liquid?
get, yeah, liquid in like welding goggles, but liquid in between the two.
Yeah, some kind of blue liquid, I thought.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's the name of it. Is like I can't remember how to pronounce it. I think it's DICYMAIN.
Yeah, I forget now. I looked it up. I wanted to see if it existed, so I Googled it and then um or maybe I did it on Yandex. I think I did do it on Yandex. And it was weird because there was somebody on Amazon that was claiming to have them, but they were like $900.
I've seen. I did a quick eyeball a few months back for him, and I think yeah, it was like seven. Even the ones that, and who knows about any of them, they could all be
Yeah,
scams.
right.
But like the ones that I was looking at that were just the stained glass, not even the liquid in between, were like 75 or $90, I think. So probably over 100 now
Yeah.
for
Yeah, I
this
don't.
box.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that, yeah, who knows? Right.
If you could get the dye for study purpose or religious, I don't know if there's loopholes available to get hold of it, but I would definitely try
Yeah.
looking through it. See if
Yeah.
it was purpose or whatever reason wound up fitting me if I did. No, I don't think I'm gonna.
Yeah,
And I
either.
wouldn't recommend anybody else either. The law is serious.
No, don't try this at home.
That, I don't know. I actually don't know why that one's illegal. I think somebody actually said it's poisonous or it's if you're around it, it makes you unhappy and something dumb.
Oh yeah. Well, that wasn't that the Kazarev mirrors.
Oh, yeah. That I think that really actually does make you unhappy if you're around it. But again,
Like
I'm not telling
if you spend too much time in the mirrors or if you're not ready for the mirrors, it's kind of like a really bad acid trip. Like say you are not ready to do psychedelics or you've had too much trauma in your life that you haven't dealt with and you're unhealed. And then you do psychedelics. You're going to have like some really maybe you might have a bad experience, right? So I feel like that's what the Kazarev mirrors are because they kind of show you parts of yourself that aren't healed if you're not healed. And so you go in there and you're like, you're really seeing yourself. And that's what you freak out about is that you're seeing the parts of you that aren't healed. And so you get freaked out and you can't spend too much time in there. That's my own little
well,
theory on mirrors for what it's worth.
it's all yourself, though, right? Now, isn't that the secret to the? Maybe I'm not telling you what to believe. I do want to actually try the that mirror. Like it seems
Yeah,
that
I
the
do
well,
too. I actually do. Yeah.
to get the spiral right might be a pain in the butt, but it seems not simple, but like it's easy enough to do anyway.
That
Like
would be, yeah,
not that I
that
want
would
to.
be one of the things I would want to experiment with, or like I'm not sure where you could find a concave mirror that large, but I was
Get
looking for them.
cheap, right?
What?
You just get a big sheet of aluminum and you polish the crap out of it, right?
Yeah, yeah, I guess you could do that. I did see that there were some concave mirrors for sale that were large. They were very expensive. Um,
I
but
think they
they're
actually
out
sell.
there.
They do sell mini versions because right when I first heard about it, it wasn't that long ago, and I
Yep.
it's like 40,000 bucks or something pretty
Yeah.
reasonable.
Yeah. I was looking at them too. I was, and then I got a little tiny one. And I got these what are called bagua mirrors, where one's concave and one's convex. Here, I'll show you. Hold on. I'll be right
Oh,
back.
neat. You got a little mini Kozarev? What's the? I didn't know they made mini ones. I thought they were all full boss. I had to step inside size. But
I
I
keep
might
them
be.
I keep them right outside my front door because they're supposed to ward off anything bad. Not that I'm worried about anything bad happening, but you can never be too
Doesn't
careful.
hurt.
It doesn't hurt, right? So, oh, they're dirty because they've been outside, but yeah, see, this one is convex, as you can
Oh,
see,
yep, yep.
and this one is concave.
Oh, okay.
So you put them
Okay.
next to each other like that, and that's where you put them outside, and they've got like these little symbols on the back, you know.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, so they're I think they're Buddhist. I'm not sure. It appears that they have some kind of, I'm not sure whether this is Sanskrit. Yes. Yeah. It looks like Sanskrit. I believe it's Sanskrit. It might be Chinese. I could be wrong. I don't
You
know.
have Kozarev mirror too?
No, well, this is, I mean, I don't know if you would call it a Cosworth mirror, but it's convex.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I got you. Oh, gotcha.
It's a convex mirror, right? That's what this one is. So,
That
and
would
that's,
make me want to shoot my laser into one and then bounce it into the other, but I want to recommend it to the audience
you
personally.
wouldn't recommend it for the audience. So you think I should try it? Because you know me, I'll try it. I got
Oh,
my lasers.
I'd give it a whirl anyway. It'd
Give it a
be
whirl. I got a
interesting.
Faraday cage. I'm safe. I play it safe. So yeah, that would be fun. I think that's worth a shot. I haven't played with my lasers in a while. I kind of miss it.
Oh
My
no, I get that once in a while too.
my books have taken over the table. I got too many books now, and they just sort of all took over. People just keep suggesting books, and I can't stop buying them. It's just really annoying.
Oh, that's a good problem to have. I guess they're probably pretty good books if I had to
Oh,
wager.
yeah, they are very good books. One is the one that Dan from the group recommended, occultic chemistry, occultic chemistry, and it has all kinds of really interesting pictures in it. I can show you that too. Why not?
Oh, absolutely. I'm up for it. I'm up for it.
Yeah. So
Deal.
I hope it's bright enough in here, but like again, these have symbols on them. And I've been obsessed with symbols lately. So I don't know if you can see the symbols.
A little blurridge.
Yeah.
Oh,
Can
there
you
it
now?
is. Yeah. Yep.
This way. Okay, yeah. So this is the book. It has symbols all over it. Can you read what it says?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah,
Like,
there's more symbols on the bottom part.
oh, a little blurridge. Oh, there it is. Oh, there it is. Yeah, they're almost like crop circly, like all alchemy,
Yeah,
alchemy.
I think they're alchemical symbols, yes. And then there's all these little drawings in here that are interesting.
Oh yeah, yeah. I remember he posted a couple pictures of those. Yeah, the hydrogen
Yeah,
one, especially the diagram of hydrogen, especially.
right. Yeah, so these are very interesting. And yeah, I can't read them. Copper, silver, sodium. These are all like symbols of the different chemicals.
See, there's about 8 different ways that you could take each of those drawings, like the
Yeah.
the math breakdown way that Dave does it, or like the put crystals in certain position ways that I kind of see it, or
Right.
maybe the just the straightforward method that it was laid out. Like, oh, that's a little blurred. There it is.
There. Can you read it now?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
There's a lot of interesting stuff in this book.
No, that no, that definitely is that. that one would have to probably go on my list too, just for because I'm kind of more visual person like that. I mean, I'm trying to get more nuts and bolts with the science stuff,
But no, this is my go-to. Like these kinds of things are what helps me understand. So anybody else who is, I don't know, it's where I place this, I guess. Anybody else who's visual and learns better that way, I highly recommend this book because it's very helpful. It definitely gives you a better idea and helps you understand what you're looking at. It breaks it down. You know, there's a there's a lot of text in here too that breaks it down, but yeah, it was very helpful suggestion. So that's the kind of stuff I like to read, um, because it's, yeah, especially the symbols lately. I don't know why. I've just been fixated on symbols.
the the lineup that for the original buckshot laser on the one that I fumbled across, it was just the the basic. Uh, it lines up with the volt stick too. Like it's pretty much the same one, but I didn't realize that was the same at the time.
Yeah,
Which
yeah,
is those would definitely remind me of like crop circles too. Like that, the way that they're laid out, and even then, like the magnetic crop ones, like
yeah.
seems like you don't really hear about that so much anymore. Like I don't know. Maybe they're still magnetic. I don't. Nobody
Maybe
reports
they
on that
are
part.
still doing it, but I like, now that you mentioned it, I haven't been seeing them on, like I used to see them on Instagram all the time. They would always be posting them. I don't see them lately. So that's interesting that you mentioned that. I'll have to look into that.
Well, the last few times I went to look for a design to rip off from the crop circles, I was like, all right, that's how I test for it. Is like, and the magnetic ones to me would be like, you can magnetize grass, trust your design. Like,
Yeah,
if if there have been any recently, I haven't. They all the ones that I spotted were like 2014, like
yeah,
before.
they were older. Huh, I wonder what's up with that. It's
Like they
interesting.
realized to flag them or whatever, so they don't show up on any, or they don't magnetize them anymore, maybe, or people just don't pay
Huh.
attention.
Well, maybe the codes that they were sending us are all being sent to us in a different way now, so we don't need them anymore in
Well,
the
that's true.
fields, you know. So maybe that's what it is. Just a thought. I don't know.
That's true. That's true. Instead of the pass and note, it's just the direct download right to the hard drive.
Yep.
That's that's a good point.
And who knows what we do in our sleep. I find that interesting too, because there's a lot of times when I'll wake up exhausted and I'll be like, what? Why am I tired? I just slept for 8 hours. What did I just do?
Well, more recently, like trying to take the lucid dreaming angle to it, like cool. I can somewhat remember my dreams, but like I want to be able to remember what I did for my dreams, and like
Right.
that's a
There's,
all night.
yeah, yeah.
There's been a
There's,
few recently where I fully remembered like I was talking to you right now. Like, oh
yeah.
no, I'm asleep right now, Linda. Crap. Well, I may as well ask you about whatever about while I'm awake. And they're like, haha, you're gonna forget. Like, God damn it. Well, I'm gonna ask anyway.
Well, that's pretty cool because yeah, I could see that happening totally. I could totally see that happening for real.
And then I'll remember like the part where I remembered that I was asleep, and I remembered to ask about when I was awake with the question or like what the answer
Or
that I
the
got.
answer you won't remember.
Almost
Yeah.
every time. Almost every time.
Everything else but that most important part, yes.
All right, we got to give it to them in like a cryptic message or like a weird visual.
Yeah,
Like, oh,
yeah.
well, that dolly painting of a dolphin in the milk box. Oh my gosh, I got to put the laser over here. Like, what?
Yeah,
Put that together. Like,
yeah, you will. they know how your mind works, so they know how to put it together for you so that you'll remember it. And it's with me, they have to show me things on the ground or in the sky or in the trees or something like, you know, or like I don't know, something in nature, and then I'll be like, oh, okay.
Oh, so at least we're figuring out like kind of like what the deal is with it. Like,
You
all
figure,
right, well, that's a hurdle. Why do I keep running into it and falling over? Like, oh, there's a hurdle there. Hey, I realize I say there's a hurdle and I run right into it. Like, let me get back up.
yeah,
The process is wrong.
yeah, yeah. Well, I'll have the lucid dreams where I'm like, it's usually right before I wake up, or yeah, it's usually right before I wake up. It used to be before I'd fall as I was falling asleep, but now it's more of it right before I wake up. And if I ask to be shown something, then I usually get shown something. But it's always different things. Like today, it was the sounds. When I was doing the angelic calls, I was listening to the sound frequencies. I was hearing a message in the sound. I was hearing something clearly being said to me, right? But normally it's a visual. Usually I just will close my eyes and um, I'll start to see something forming, like an image forming, and then it becomes super clear. It becomes like a photograph, like as clear as if it were real, right in front of me. And that's pretty cool. But then I just when I try to make it stay, when I try to control it, like that's when it starts to fade. And it will, yeah,
You can steer it a little bit, but I think it takes practice. I have the older
hold
version of the older version of the astral projection Monroe technique. And if you can marinate right in that crashing out zone, I think that's the sweet
yeah.
spot.
That's really what it is, because it's when I start to try to control it that it goes away. But if I just let it do whatever it's doing, it lasts longer. So, and then I can just keep looking at it instead of trying to figure it out. That's always my problem, is I'm trying to figure it out, and trying to interpret it instead of just allowing it to be. So now that I'm getting better at like just letting it be and not interpreting it, then now it's staying a little bit longer and it's
Or
turning into other things.
throw it back to the hand move if you're like, all right, I want to try the ultimate or ultra mudra 7 hands. I'm gonna throw a random off. I feel like an odd hand. All right, think done. Like you don't. It's not like a process of all right. The arms are gonna come out and then they're gonna go to this clock and then this. Like I think you have to envision it after the fact of what
Yeah.
you're trying to hope for. Like that's kind of the same.
Well, it's like you kind of you start seeing it unfold right in front of you. It's just a weird thing. Like I'm not. It's not like I'm trying to make it happen. It just does. You know.
It's the same for me. I can usually have pretty decent dreams or fairly lucid as I'm zonking out
Yeah.
or when I'm getting up. But after a while of it happening, like if it happens, if I wake up at some random time in the evening, like 3 or 5, I'll be like, all right, I'm up for a reason right now. What do I gotta do? Like get up and tool around until either a thought hits me or I do something that like it wouldn't have otherwise occurred to me because like I'll be like, all right, I'm up. Like, oh gosh, it's really not time for me to be awake. Do I need to do something right
Yeah.
now? No, I want to go back to sleep. And then I'll be like, damn, try. No, all right, you're awake. All right, what am I after? Like, get up and start tooling around. And it's
Yeah.
not all every night, or it's pretty rare, not pretty rare, but I'm like, all right, accepted to the fact now of like, all right, current. I wake up after an hour of sleep and where I'm beat and I should be sleeping. And all right, well, some task needs to be accomplished. I'm open to it. Where am I headed? And it usually almost is like it'll be like something will come to me where I'm like, oh gosh, like oh, that's amazing. And I'm like, all right, I'm going sweet. Or I'll
So
stay up. Oh, geez.
so you're saying like these are like you're not actually up, but your astral body is up, is what you're
No,
saying.
oh no, yeah, or like for the times like I can remember solid dreams like where it'll be controllable almost, not like steer the ship, paint the picture as I'm going in, but falling asleep is easier and waking up it seems to be more lucid but harder to remember. But if I wake up at random in the night and I'll be like,
Oh,
I need to get back to sleep, it'll be like the urge that's like, nope, you gotta get up and there's something that you need to take care of on this side, dude. Like get to it. Gosh shit. All right. Well, what is it? Fucking drag my ass out of bed and figure it out.
okay. So you actually are getting up in the middle
Yeah,
of the night.
sometimes. Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll get up sometimes to go to the bathroom or something in the middle of the night, but I'll go right back to sleep. Um, but there was been a couple of nights where I will like, especially when I'm asking to be shown something or I know I want to have this dream. I get really like impatient. Like I start tossing and turning, like, when am I going to have this dream? I want it, and then I don't. Of course, it doesn't happen until right before I wake up.
Well,
Just
something about
right.
the witching hour, there's less foot traffic. And
Yeah.
so, like, I feel like if you're awake, take advantage of that.
Okay.
Maybe that's, you know what I'm saying? Like, if, like, everybody's on the highway, on the astral highway, and then you're like, all right, I'm going to get off and use some of this energy out in the other place. So then you're not, you can still you can still be awake and use it, whereas everybody's that's awake and using the other lanes of daytime traffic is all empty now. So you can, well, I
Do
need to go over here and take care of that.
do you think there's more astral traffic at night than during the day because people are asleep?
I think it's different lanes. I think it's like southbound and northbound.
Huh.
Like southbound would be sleep, and then like you're like, all right, everybody's headed southbound. We're during the daytime when we're northbound. Like, all right, I woke up at 3:30 this morning. I gotta go northbound for a little bit and figure out what's going on. Hop back into traffic to sleep. That's how I see it. I don't know, like
Huh. Okay.
awake on third shift, you can kind of see like feel the difference a little bit if you're paying attention.
Yeah. Yeah, that would make sense. Because that's what, like this afternoon when I did the angelic calls, I did it during the day. And it just seemed like it was easier to get messages. Like there were probably not as many astral bodies out there, right?
Oh
Because
yeah,
everybody's up and moving around and not really in their astral body so much during the day.
well, the same side of that argument that I would make in your favor is everybody's, and to Dan Winter's argument is everybody's in their metal box at work, not really focused
Right,
on enlightening their kind of head down, nose to the grindstone. So
right,
they're
right, right,
hopping on that express elevator.
right. So they're not out there. They're not out there astrally projecting because they're in their office,
Or, or it
stuck in
would
their
be
body.
if they were at their work meditating, which I doubt there's probably.
No, they're not probably no. So that's what I mean. Like I think during the middle of the day when most people are working would probably be a really good time to try doing something like astrally because there's not as many people out there doing it.
Yeah,
And you're not
depending
gonna
on
have
if
the
that's
traffic, you're not gonna have the, the disturbances,
I
it'll be
100%, especially
you know
during the week. Then
yeah,
maybe
during the week. Yeah, during the week, right. Wow, that's interesting. I'll have to try that. That's that's pretty cool.
especially the call for if you wanted to test it during nights and in days, like definitely during the day, during the week, I would say there's probably a noticeable difference. But I would be
Yeah,
interested to see if other people concur with that because
right, right.
putting
Well,
that
that is
together, probably what the case is.
so I would, yeah. So I guess whoever's out there listening, if you want to try this at home, try it during the day. See what happens if you can, you know, if you're at work and you could find a quiet spot, maybe, try it there, like on a break or something.
Yeah, even a couple minutes is
Even
better
just a
than
couple minutes. Yeah.
no meditation. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. Go back to your car, sit in your car. I had this one job where it was an office job. It was not fun. I was never really a big fan of the Matrix office jobs, but during the day, and this is before I even knew anything at all about grounding. I didn't even know what that, I never knew that word. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know anything about anything really. So I just went outside. Not that I know so much now, but I went outside and I would lay down in the strips of grass in the parking lot, in between in the where the light poles were in between the cars. I would just lay in those strips of grass, and I'd find a strip of grass, just lay in the grass, and people would walk past me like, "What are you doing?" Like, I don't know, it just feels good. I don't know why. I like it, just feels good, so leave me alone. But it's funny, like that's what I was doing, and I didn't know. I had no idea what I was doing.
Oh,
I
that's
think,
the rubber shoes. We've had those for gosh, over 100 years, right? Super thick, no ground out sole.
yeah, yeah. Before they started putting rubber soles on shoes, the soles of shoes were leather, and leather is a natural material, so you would naturally be grounded, to the earth.
Well,
So,
clogs, but
well, the wood clogs, yeah, there were those, but like the average person was wearing leather shoes with leather soles because rubber didn't exist yet. Probably during the Tartarian days. That's what they wore.
probably the fourth too.
Yeah. Oh, before that too, absolutely. Yeah. The leather sandals and flip-flops. Like they had flip-flops back then. They called them thong shoes, I guess, leather thongs, but back in the ancient Roman times, that's what they wore.
They probably they probably kill for a pair of Crocs. I bet. They last for how long they last? I know they last a while though.
Yeah. I have a pair of Crocs that are grounding shoes. They have they have things in them to make them ground them. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know they made those. Nice, nice.
Yeah, they do. I got them on Amazon, I think. But yeah, I have a couple pairs like that.
Oh, see,
They're
that
really
would be really
comfortable.
cool. If you could
Yeah.
wear them, you could actually ground out. If they had something that goes through the rubber, maybe like to touch your feet.
Yeah, these
But,
were like, I don't know what they're made of. They're soft. They're really like soft, rubbery. Um, but I don't know what they're made of. And anyway, I wear them to the beach usually because they have holes in them. So if I get sand in my shoes, it doesn't matter, you know?
oh yeah, yeah. Especially on the if you're going to the beach all the time,
Yeah,
that's
that's
nice.
nice. Well, I guess we could wrap it up. I just wanted to get like some ideas out there for people, you know, some new thoughts, just to open some minds a little bit, open minds.
Oh, shoot! I hope maybe hopefully at least one insight was
Yeah,
thrown out. Yeah, I don't want
yeah,
to tell them what to think, but a couple of good ideas maybe kicking around. I don't want to either one of our horns, but I think it was a solid conversation. Dang it.
yeah. It is, and it was, and
Cool.
it was fun. It's always fun to talk to you because we talk about the most unusual, unique things.
Oh, I'm grateful for it. No, we do too. I don't know. It's seems just like kicking around,
Yeah,
chatting with the some crew from way back, but it has only been since gosh, January, February.
yeah, yeah. I think it was January, but I feel like, yeah, I feel like I've known you for like all my life.
Hopefully, we're just on the start of the takeoff too. I don't want to. I'm not trying to say anything one way or judge anybody one way or the other way. They're hot air, but I'm grateful to be in the spot that we are for sure.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's all coming together the way it's supposed to, you know. We're all meeting each other at this time because we're supposed to, you know. We've probably been together before in other lives, in other places, and other planets, but we're here now, and we're here at this time, coming together and doing what we're supposed to be doing, you know, what we're meant to do.
Keep spreading all the good words. Hopefully, that's the idea that I think that we're all trying to get out there anyway.
Yeah,
Not push anything, but if people are trying to pick up the what we're putting down,
yeah, yeah. If people have their antennas up, yeah, they'll catch it.
I hope so. Yeah, I think they will. I'm pretty sure that we're not that covert, but covert.
No, no, anybody who has their antenna up will catch our vibe.
Oh gosh, I hope so. I definitely hope so.
Yeah, yeah, I think so. So, well, there's a lot of potential here.
Absolutely.
And it's great. It was great having you on, Evan. Stick around. I'm just gonna say goodbye to everyone, and we'll see Evan again on another episode in the future, I'm sure. So, thank you for watching, and ciao for now.